Okay, the Utah Jazz lose to the Sacramento Kings. This is the Hoops Nerd postgame show. Guys, let's just get into this. Before we talk about the Jazz, let's talk a little bit about the Sacramento Kings. The Jazz in preseason beat the Kings, although part of that was because the Kings kind of rested some of their players. And let's put this in the top right, like people have asked me to. But one of the things about the Kings that I noticed in this game is that the Jazz are not very good right now. They're 0-4. They now have the number one spot, or tied with Detroit for the number one spot in the NBA lottery, which is fantastic, considering that's what the Jazz goal is right now. Honestly, you could look at the Jazz season. They are doing and succeeding at what they are setting out to do, while also keeping Lauri Markkanen. Pretty incredible stuff if you're a Jazz fan. Let's adjust this really quick. But for the Sacramento Kings, I had some questions about them. I think they answered it a little bit when they're healthy. They have three of their three top players, DeMar DeRozan, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis. By the way, Triple D, is that what they're calling it? DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox? The jokes write themselves. But anyways, they are all three not the most prolific three-point shooters, pretty shaky at best. Well, no, shaky. They're just not very great three-point shooters. And so I think there's a little bit of a ceiling of what this Kings team can do in terms of just elite offense, which is kind of what the Kings have been known to be, is this high-level offense. I think DeMar DeRozan really changes a little bit of what they do. But they do play really well together. They move the ball, they pass, they cut. There's a lot of interesting things they do, and they surround those guys with players like Kevin Huerter and Keegan Murray. And so it's an interesting team that plays an interesting style of basketball, and obviously it was too much for the Utah Jazz to handle. The Utah Jazz, after losing Taylor Hendricks last game yesterday, seems like forever ago, but it was just yesterday, to a horrific injury, they changed the starting lineup. Tonight they go with Cody Williams at the starting spot, and I felt like he played pretty well. His three-point shot was not falling to begin the game, but he hit one later in the game, and the floodgates have finally opened. These were actually his first three-point makes of the season. Cody Williams finally hits them, and it had to be just kind of a relief. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen leaves the game right around halftime. I think it was at halftime, and didn't come back. And the Jazz said his back locked up, back spasms. And so now the Jazz are down Taylor Hendricks. They're down Lauri Markkanen. I do not think the Jazz are going to be interested in bringing him back anytime sooner than they should, because they don't want to give him a bad injury. And considering the Jazz are not worried about winning games this season, I wouldn't be surprised if they rest him for longer than maybe they might if they were in a competitive season. Obviously, the goal of this season for the Utah Jazz is development, and so what that's going to do is just open up more minutes for other players. And the player it opened up things for tonight was Kyle Filipowski, who was pretty impressive. So but just to mention what Markkanen did, in 17 minutes, he was 3 for 5 from the field. Left the game at halftime. He leaves with 7 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Obviously, you don't want any player to go injured. It did to be injured, and Markkanen goes out, so you wish him the best. Obviously, like I said, I think the Jazz are going to rest him. So Cody Williams gets his first start of the season, and he scored 9 points. It was from his three-point makes he made. He had 2 steals, 2 assists. This assist number is a little surprising. I thought it might be a little more, because watching him play, he moves that ball on offense really well. He's a very nice. There is something there with Cody Williams, and I think he's going to have an opportunity to kind of, obviously the best thing would have been not to have Taylor Hendricks get injured like he did. That sucked. There is nothing about that is good. But if I guess there was a silver lining, is it does open up minutes for Cody Williams and Filipowski. Filipowski, I thought, might be going to the G League for a lot of this season. Instead, he is now going to get a lot of minutes. So I guess, it at least gives them some minutes to develop, which will be interesting to watch. But anyways, Cody Williams, I think, has a chance to really make a mark, and he is going to get a lot of minutes this season. Will he win Rookie of the Year? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think there is a runaway Rookie of the Year favorite, though. Like, is there someone that started the season as just a Rookie of the Year frontrunner? Probably not. Cody Williams could mess around and be get top 3 rookie of the year if he plays really well, kind of like Walker Kessler did. No one expected Walker Kessler to get rookie of the year votes. And if Cody Williams goes out there and he shoots a high percentage from 3 and scores a lot of points, why not? I think this was a great game for Cody Williams because you could tell that he is a player that, first off, he's extremely smart. You can tell that he's a smart player because he makes the right play. He'll make the right read. He'll drive when he's supposed to drive. He'll kick it out to three-point shooters. I loved how Cody Williams would drive to the basket and then kick it out to the three-point shot. And that's something, honestly, the Jazz are missing right now. I mean, a lot of that penetration is reliant on Keon George, and now Colin Sexton comes off the bench, which was interesting, and he goes 0 for 7. There is something about him coming off the bench that changes things for him, which, by the way, Colin Sexton, well, we'll talk about it in a minute, but Colin Sexton having an incredible season so far, goes to the bench, is not on the floor as much with Keon George. All of a sudden, he's going 0 for 7. Coincidence? I think not. But anyways, I've just been really impressed with Cody Williams. He provides another playmaking option, which I don't know if everyone quite expected. We knew that he could shoot the 3. We knew he was long. He could defend and could finish at the rim. Now we're seeing that he really passes the ball well. And if he just gets better and better at on the defensive end, that would be nice to see. Why are they listing Lauri Markkanen at small forward and Cody Williams at power forward? That makes no sense. Cody Williams was playing small forward. But anyways, really nice stuff from Cody Williams. It was nice to see him get those 3-point shots to fall. I believe it was in the second half. And then all of a sudden he was just knocking them down. So he goes 3 for 6 from 3. I'm excited to see what Cody Williams does from here on out, because if he gets that confidence and starts hitting these shots, it's going to be nice to see. He brings a lot to the table in terms of defense. He handles it pretty well. Finishes at the rim. He's a great passer, and look at that, 2 steals. So he has a chance to really make a mark this season now, which is kind of that, like I said, that silver lining of the Hendricks injury. Another good game from Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler played solid. I know he only scores 4 points and 8 rebounds. He only plays 25 minutes in this one. Utah rested him for a lot of it. And so, you know what? He didn't have quite as good a game tonight against Domantas Sabonis, but when you see him out there, you can just see and feel the impact that he's having better than last season. Tonight, only 4 points. I'm not too worried about the numbers here. I am happy with the assists too. 2 assists. He's moving the ball within the offense. Multiple times he was moving the ball out of the free throw line, kind of out of the paint to corner 3-point shooters. It's nice to see Walker Kessler is contributing in a nice way, and it's no wonder that other teams are paying attention and are going to give Utah even more calls this season. But Utah doesn't have to trade Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler's a nice player, and unless a team comes out and gives a nice offer that hits that requirement the Utah Jazz have set of 2 first-round picks, not going to trade him. The Lakers, if they want him, like the rumors have said, that's fine, but you're going to have to give 2 first-round picks. And maybe they will. Jordan Clarkson starts tonight. I mentioned it before. Colin Sexton ends up coming off the bench, which was kind of a surprise to me. But Jordan Clarkson starts in this one and plays better. This is really interesting, guys. For those that like to make anti-Keon George comments, which is always kind of weird, and honestly, there are more positives than negatives online, but you just always seem to remember the negatives for whatever reason. But Jordan Clarkson starts with the starting unit with Keon George playing point guard, and guess what? His percentages go up. He gets better. Look at him tonight, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, playing off of Keon George. Colin Sexton goes to the bench. His numbers just die. 0 for 7, 0 for 5, minus 11. Look at that. We've been talking about this all season, but Keon George is doing a good job running the offense. Yes, Key needs to shoot the ball better. This is a bad percentage. 3 for 13 from the field is bad. This mostly happened in the second half. He was 2 for 4 from 3 in the first half, goes 2 for 10 in the second. So the shooting, he's in some sort of shooting slump, but it was better in the first half. This partly could be explained by Lauri Markkanen going out in the first half and even more defensive focus going on to Keon George, so that could probably explain why we're seeing these numbers. But I think that's pretty interesting that Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton, if they're on those units playing with Keon George, they're getting better shots. and the ball is moving. And another thing to be happy about is, yes, Keon George had another game where he had a really bad shooting percentage, but he's taking less. Last game, he takes 18 shots. Tonight, he takes 13. Nice to see. That's some development. But here's where the proof is in the pudding even more. What type of pudding? It's a nice, delicious bread pudding, or perhaps a delicious flan. But anyways, Keon George, career high tonight, 11 assists. I'm telling you guys, the offense is doing better. And yes, we would all like to see Keon George shooting the ball better. But that is not necessarily the development that I'm that worried about. I mean, after year 3, year 4, if he's shooting like this, then you start to get a little worried. But what we should be excited about is the fact that Keon George is having 11 assists and players are shooting and playing better when he's running the point. It's nice to see. Keon George was third in shot attempts as well. John Collins takes 16. Jordan Clarkson takes 16 shots. Keon George at 13. I'm telling you, this is something to be happy about. And, the point of this season is development, and that's what we're seeing. First double-double for Key, 10 points, 11 assists. I'll take it. If you are trying to develop Keon George into a point guard, which is what the Utah Jazz are trying to do, it's working. It's happening. It doesn't mean it's going to be pretty every single night. Keon George has been basically a shooting guard his entire life. He is now playing point guard, and look, 11 assists. That's nice to see. He is making absolute improvement. The passes he's making are absolute dimes. Like the corner threes he was setting up. I mean, he was throwing some absolute dimes out there, guys. Really nice to see. In fact, this probably deserves some video work, but each of these assists are pretty shot, and they are set up by him. Corner 3-point shots to Cody Williams, corner 3-point shots to Kyle Filipowski. Really nice to see. So that's something to be happy about. Does the shooting percentage have to get better? Absolutely. If Keon George is going to be a starting level or all-star guard in the future, then these numbers have to get drastically better. But to see him passing the ball like this, very nice to see. Really nice improvement. And the shot attempts are going down. We talked about that last show. The fact that, shoot the ball less. And he did. Did the ball go in less? No. But guess what? This could have been 3 for 18. 5 less assists. Instead, it's 11 created points or 11 created field goals off assists. So nice to see. We already mentioned it, but Colin Sexton kind of running the show as a sixth man is not quite as good as when Keon George and Lauri Markkanen are taking the defensive focus away. So Colin Sexton in this one goes 17 minutes, 0 for 7. It's tougher when you're running the show. Ask Keon George. When you are running the show and you got guys on top of you like this, it's tough. It's tough going. And so it's interesting that Jordan Clarkson shoots better with Keon George getting the defensive focus, especially the second half. And Colin Sexton moves to the bench, gets that defensive focus. It really changes things. So the thing we want to see from Colin Sexton is, can he do this if he is the focal point of the offense? Tonight, it was not something that happened. And maybe it's just a shooting fluke, but this is something to watch, because my guess is that Utah looks at having Jordan Clarkson play the shooting guard while Keontae starts with Taylor Hendricks out and Cody Williams at the 3. Although if it goes this badly, they may change it. I don't know. John Collins had his probably best shooting night of the night. He goes 7 for 16 from the field, 18 points, 7 rebounds. He played pretty solid basketball. He was a minus 18, worst on the team. But you know what? And we talked about this on the playback with John Collins. If John Collins was making $5 to $10 million a year, I don't think Jazz fans would really worry all that much. The fact that he's making $26 million is what changes the perception. But you know what? He goes out there, he plays really hard, he has his moments. He's got limitations because of his size. Utah plays him exclusively at the center spot. And because he's 6'8", 6'9", whatever he is, without like kind of that length or defensive prowess, it's just he struggles. But you know what? I'm a fan of John Collins, even though he is kind of contributing to the capture the flag movement. I still like watching him play, and he's fun to watch. He does some fun things. He had 2 or 3 like nice dunks in this one. So fun player to watch. Not always the most winning player, but he's a fun player to watch, and his attitude is great. And so, and he's got 26 million reasons to be a great locker room presence. So I'm happy for him. All right, guys. One of the exciting parts of this game was extended minutes for Kyle Filipowski, and it was really nice. He played really well. I loved he plays with a little bit of an edge, which I like. He is not afraid to get in a tussle. He got in almost a fight last game, and in this one, he got in a scuffle at one point. He goes 50% from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, 12 points, 8 rebounds. That is nice to see. And look at that, 2 assists. He is a nice player, and it's going to be interesting to see how he develops and what he can do, but he's putting up nice numbers. Now, he's got to figure out how to be a good defender, and that's what every rookie has to figure out. It's tough to do, and a lot of that just comes with NBA strength and conditioning, which usually takes 2-3 seasons to get to that level you need to be at, where you can withstand the punishment of playing an 82-game NBA season against other players who are in their absolute athletic peak, but to see him shooting the ball like this in an NBA game, this is legit. So this is kind of exciting to see. We're going to see more and more of Kyle Filipowski, especially with Lauri Markkanen out, because Filipowski got even more minutes. He started the second half because Markkanen left right before halftime, and Filipowski started the second half. So I wonder if that's the starting unit next game, where it's likely, Keon George, Jordan Clarkson, Cody Williams, Kyle Filipowski, and Walker Kessler. That might be the starting unit. I guess we'll see. It'll be interesting. I don't know if they want to start Filipowski, but at a certain point, they might not have a lot of choices. I mean, they lose Taylor Hendricks, who played the power forward. They lose Lauri Markkanen, who plays power forward. He plays small forward, power forward. Same with Taylor Hendricks. So they've basically lost both of their power forwards. I think Filipowski might be starting next game at power forward. So that's going to be even more really positive development minutes for him. We'll see what happens. So, but I tell you what, it's nice to see these percentages at a high level. It's just one game, but nice to see. And it wasn't just 3-point shots. I mean, he drove to the basket. His first NBA basket was him overpowering one of the Sacramento Kings defenders. He scores right at the rim. That was nice to see. So really nice. Patty Mills is honestly out of gas. Basically at this point, we're just waiting for Isaiah Collier to come back from that injury. Hopefully soon. I believe it was like a hamstring, and they're obviously not going to take I just want to see Isaiah Collier, because I think it would be a lot of fun, especially in this season where the Jazz are not worried about winning games. They're more worried about developing players, and also watching highlights of Cooper Flagg and Ace Bailey. But by my goodness, guys, those highlights are great, by the way. After this, you should go watch some Cooper Flagg highlights and some Ace Bailey highlights. It's going to be a really fun season. By the way, I think I mentioned it on the playback. I'm going to watch the Utes play Baylor this year when the Baylor comes to Utah, because I want to watch VJ Edgecombe. And I think I have courtside seats. So I'm going to be watching that. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're there, come say hi. That would be fun. Let's see. So I don't got much else to say for Patty Mills. He took one shot in 17 minutes. We need Isaiah Collier back, because there's not a lot to analyze there other than Patty Mills might be washed. Bryce Sensabaugh, guess what? He's quietly putting together a nice season. I don't know if they are including this game in the season stats for him, but he had a nice night. Let's see. So Bryce Sensabaugh goes 4 for 8 from the field, 60% from 3, 11 points. He was a plus 13 in this one. So you could argue is the best player on the floor for the Jazz tonight. But for 3, he's shooting 41% on the season. It looks like that might be updated. That is exciting. Let's see if we can refresh this, if it's got these uploaded. Yes, they do. By the way, can we just watch a really quick... I just want to show you one of these Filipowski buckets. This was fun stuff. This was his first bucket of the game. First bucket for Kyle Filipowski. First of many. Look at how he overpowers DeMar DeRozan and just scores. It's nice to see. But I want you also to watch. Was this a corner three-point shot? Look at this pass from Key, by the way. Look at this pass, baby. Oh, wait, no, that's from Jordan Clarkson. Never mind. Shout out to Jordan Clarkson. Let's see. No, let's go to this one. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Nice pass from Drew Eubanks. I'm trying to give Key. What was it? I want to show you the. It must have been the Cody Williams buckets. But anyways, nice to see Kyle Filipowski knocking down those corner threes and the Jazz moving the ball. Shout out Jordan Clarkson, who had, 3 assists? Let's go to Cody Williams and watch some of these. These were the ones where I was seeing these corner threes. Nice to see him knocking these down. Oh, whoops. Let's go back. Cody Williams. All right, let's watch these really quick. These were great, and his three-point shot looks so good. It's why I've been kind of surprised that it hasn't been falling at a better rate. So let's see, okay, this was the one I was just kind of like, look at Keon George. Look at the defensive focus here, by the way. Look at the focus. He has to drive. He's getting there. He's getting double teamed. And this is development on Key's part to not just force the shot in against a defense that is obviously focusing on him. He gets this. Look at this pass. Oh my gosh. That is left hand, one-handed, over the top of the defense to a wide open Cody Williams. This is the first 3 of his career. Bangarang. Very nice to see. All right, let's watch this next one. Look at this. So this is Sensabaugh to Key. Uh-oh. Basically the same play, same corner spot. Key knows he's there and he knocks it down. All right, finally, let's watch this one here. Boom. Look at that. Opposite side. Opposite side. So same thing. Pick and roll here with Drew Eubanks. Look at this. This is a spread floor offense. Utah is eventually going to have a great offense. When Keon George is knocking down his shot, watch out, because now he's showing that he can get the 11 assists a game. And when you got guys like Cody Williams, Bryce Sensabaugh knocking down threes, the offense is going to flow. So here we go. Boom. Watch this. He sees the open shot. Money. Big rainbow arc. Nice to see. So anyways, these are things to be happy about and excited about. Yes, the Jazz lose. Yes, they are far away from being very competitive right now. But these are the signs you want to see for this Utah Jazz team to develop. You're seeing Kyle Filipowski. You're seeing Cody Williams knocking down shots, creating shots. And you're seeing Keon George figure things out, moving the ball. 11 assists is no small thing, okay? That's a big deal. So we need to be excited about it. And I tell you what, Johnny Juzang gets minutes. We'll probably see a little bit more of him because with Larry Markkinen out, they're going to need him for depth. And Drew Eubanks as well. I think that is, for the most part, everything in terms of the players, guys. This has been, the Jazz are on their way. They're doing the right thing. Can you imagine if Keon George gets his percentages, upper 40s field goal percentage, upper 30s in his three-point shot, and then you add a player like Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey? Going to be pretty darn exciting. And Taylor Hendricks is going to come back just as strong, just as powerful, and it's going to be super satisfying when it happens. But, so now, look at this. Utah is tied with Detroit for the number 1 spot right here. Look at this. Absolutely incredible. 0-4. Utah is tied. For whatever reason, they keep Detroit on top, but they are tied. Let's see what happens if the lottery was today with Utah having the number 1 odds at the pick. Let's see. Boom! Utah stays at 2, gets Ace Bailey, comes out with an absolutely fantastic draw. That's number 2, baby. Oh my gosh. Ace Bailey, 6'10" wing, absolutely the second coming of Paul George, coming to Utah, baby. That's exciting stuff. And let's say someone makes a bad decision and doesn't want... Oh, for a second I thought it said Pooper Flag. It's Cooper Flag. Let's say, wow, if he's not very good, we can already tell what his nickname's going to be. But anyways, let's say they pass on Cooper and decide on Ace Bailey. Utah gets the first advantage. So anyways, I'm excited about that. I saw Wasserman from Bleacher Report had Dylan Harper number 2. So things might get interesting at the number 2 spot. Maybe some guys want Dylan Harper more. I don't know. I personally would take Ace Bailey. But we're early on. The college season hasn't even started yet. They're only playing exhibition games right now. All right, guys. Shout out to all the members, by the way. Thank you guys for being a part of this channel. Please support it by liking and subscribing. And if you would like to support even more, you can join the channel and become a member. All right, let's give a shout out to the All-Stars tonight. These are the ones that make the absolute difference. I appreciate you All-Stars so much. Thank you for being a part of this channel. Even with the Jazz tanking, you guys are making a huge difference for me. So anyways, let's give a shout out to Baby Elliot Madsen, Dirty Jazz Car Wash Channel, See Ya, Alexa Later, Christian House Money to Haas, The Outlaw Jesse James Nelson, Jordan the Goat Besserell, Austin R. Grant Editor Extraordinaire, KG10 to TH5, and Patrick Akubo, the Connoisseur. Guys, this was a fun one tonight, and we're seeing development in nice ways from this Utah Jazz team. They're absolutely going to start improving every single night, and they may not win a lot of games, but that's okay. That is the point, because Utah is in the mode of adding superstars to the team. I honestly can't believe it. I'm so excited that this is the trajectory the Jazz are on. This draft will be great. If they're not very good next year, then they add another star in that draft as well. It's exciting to watch. Guys, like and subscribe to the channel. Join if you'd like to support. I will talk to you next time.